And depending on where people are in their walk in faith, they may feel more comfortable going to a medical provider, but there is something in the Word for every infirmity.
Can I just piggyback off of what she said?
Not very easily, yeah.
I am in agreement with what she said, but just to add, you need to get to the root of the depression. Usually it can be some circumstance in your life, or if it's generational, you got to get to the root. Once you get to the root, then you will know how to pray and confess the word over whatever it is that's causing the depression.
Sometimes, 10 years ago, I would have answered this question differently because I didn't understand depression. I have a father that kind of deals with depression sometimes, and my response to him and other people that I would meet is just get over it. Pray. Get over it. Pray. Believe that God can heal you. All these things these ladies have said, which is completely true. Speak the word over your life, and you'll get over it. And then my third son was born. And I went for nights without sleep. Weeks without sleep. He did not, and he's 10, and he still does not sleep through the night very often. I had a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn. And I was extremely tired. Loved the Lord with all my heart. Did not really feel like I was being overly beat up by the devil. I was tired. And because of that tired and that inability to control the situation I was in, depression comes from different places. Sometimes it's a demonic attack. Sometimes it's situations in our lives that we have lost control over. This was a situation in my life I had no control and continue to have no control over. So I had to get help. I had to get the ability to sleep. I had to be able to pull myself away, of which I still can't. I'm still not as free in that area as a lot of you ladies. I have a 10-year-old who may text me at any moment, so it's right here. So I can always be tied to him. But I'm past the depression. I got past the point of not needing all the rest I used to need. I got to the point where I understood that there had to be time for me. I got to the point where I understood that I had to work out, keep myself physically fit, do wise things. It really had nothing to do with my faith. And at that point, I don't know that it really had a lot to do with demonic attack. It had to do with a circumstance that I had no control over. And I just had to ask God to give me peace and to give me a strategy, of which I ask him every day with this son. Give me a strategy for today. So sometimes the answer to that question can be different depending upon your circumstances.
Right.
The only thing that I would add to that is that we have to be careful not to embrace it. That's the dangerous part of it. Recognizing that we are in a state of depression is one thing, but embracing it, giving into it, is another thing. I find that if I'm actually feeling a little bit out of it, I recognize it because I know when the attack is coming. And so what I immediately do, first of all, is to have some time to myself, and then to really and truly go to war to keep myself from getting totally into it. So if we can remember that God is who he says he is, even in that time, we don't have to yield to it. If we can, actually, I always recognize and know when Satan is coming to attack. And it's usually after a great victory. Usually it is. So the only comment that I would have is that recognize it, but do not embrace it. God has already planned a way of escape for us.
And that was part of the reason why I felt about my life the way that I did, because I didn't really know that that's really what it was that I was and but then when you come to know the Lord, He takes you through stages of the living, the healing. And I remember when the greatest death of depression was and the Lord said, forgive them. And I began to not forgive them of what they had done to me. All I had to do, all that He expected me to do is to forgive. I named every name. I mean, we're going way back in the past. People that have been kids. Every name for us. So I forgave myself, and that was also that condemnation that I had even not forgiven myself. And then He did. He does His things to deliver us from this. And it's been done very nicely. Then I laid on my bed, I like it up. I laid on my bed the entire night and shook as the Lord is lifting me from spirit. I mean, I don't know how many spirits, but He began the process of deliverance. And it seems like, you know what I'm talking about, Joseph Smith, He is one that is the lowest point. Because it's the lowest point, He was sitting up. And it was in that lowest point of depression that I heard the audible